As an art house dude, most people would assume that I love crazy wacko voodoo shit with endings where people cry or look into the camera as the music swells and fades to black. Okay, I do love that shit. However, I also like feeling good sometimes. Sorry to my sadomasochists out there, but depression is only my part-time job and I need a break from that shit sometimes. Like, when a movie shows two sad people bonding over a cigarette and speaking their truth they've denied themselves for so long, I feel that shit deep in my fucking soul, even if the context isn't relatable. I don't smoke, but when someone offers a cigarette to someone they just met a couple days ago, only to open up about some kind of trauma, that's the essence of human connection to me. I know this is some pseudo-intellectual stuff drawn from movies, but it's hard to really describe the feeling these kinds of scenes and movies inflict on me. I call this genre of movies movie medicine. I'm a goddamn creative genius. This basically includes any movie that makes me feel infinitely better emotionally, even on subsequent rewatches. Usually I can tell from the trailer whether or not a movie fits into this genre, but I can always feel myself letting go and allowing the movie to absorb me in its opening 20 minutes. As it goes on though, I begin to feel every speck of cynicism in my body melt away. It feels sort of internal in a way. I don't know, maybe spiritual? Whatever's going on, this feeling always reinvigorates my love for movies. I'm usually in search of this kind of thing in the roughest parts of my life, or really when I'm just feeling kind of lost. Not that these movies really give a specific direction, but the new and old entries in this genre always give me a little bit of retrospective clarity, a way to look back without having my brain muddled up with my doubts and anxiety. Watching something like Drive My Car, a 3-hour emotional epic about a theater director struggling with the loss of his wife, might seem like the most unrelatable thing for feeling out of place in college. However, no matter how much I take from the themes and the makeup of the project, the emotions at the center will always be resonant. Just the scene of the theater director character and his driver holding their cigarettes out of the sunroof after an emotionally grueling night is just... God, man, inject that shit into my soul right now. Yusuke and Misaki only met each other a couple days ago, and they already have this unspoken bond because of the trauma they both hold. Moments like these feel so vulnerable, as if we shouldn't be seeing them, but we continue watching because their connection is so authentic. As I said, I don't have any experience with losing someone as close as a spouse, but how can I not get emotional when I watch something this universally soulful? Whenever you feel so alone, like no one can possibly relate to what you're going through, I cannot tell you how good it feels to see people in the same headspace find connection in some way. This idea of human connection spans over pretty much most of my favorite movies. Obviously, I have the previously mentioned weirdo, crazy, wacko voodoo shit like Possession and The End of Ava, but Paterson, Wings of Desire, and Columbus all fit into this idea of human connection in some form of way. I come back to these movies all the time in need of that reinvigorating feeling. Paterson specifically is my favorite movie of all time. Not because of how ambitious it is or how well made it is, but the emotions at its center speak so truthfully within this genre I've created. Adam Driver in this movie is just a bus driver. In some Hollywood bullshit, something would happen to bring this man out of his normal everyday life. However, director Jim Jarmusch fully realizes his life and lets the man just live out his goddamn life the way he wants to. That being to drive a bus, write poetry for his dear wife, who also makes really, really bad casserole. And just listen to people's conversations. The main antagonist of this movie is just a fucking bulldog. Nothing special. And that's what makes this movie especially resonant to me. Adam Driver's character just lives his life and finds any kind of beauty or meaning out of the most menial things. Whether that be the philosophy talk he hears on his bus, the late nights he spends at a local bar with an old friend, or just sitting by a waterfall, using the view as fuel for more poetry. It's super simple, but the way it's all conveyed cinematically and thematically is undeniably beautiful in practice. There is conflict in the last 30 minutes of the movie, but there's really not much to spoil. The menial things Paterson hasn't noticed start to build up and bring him into a life of initiative.
Well, someday something inside just doesn't want to get up. Ever feel like that?
Today.
He ultimately finds meaning in this change in his life, and not through himself. Similar to a lot of these kind of movies, the protagonist finds someone they relate to, and even though both of them don't really have a grasp on life, They can teach each other things and reveal parts of themselves they haven't been able to express. Patterson, in this case, meets an older Japanese poet who reinvigorates him to find purpose in this change in his life. Patterson never even says anything about being a poet himself, but the connection between them feels cosmic in a way, as if Patterson was meant to find this man and a newfound purpose. This purpose isn't different. He's still gonna write some poetry, drive his bus, but he honestly needed a pick-me-up. I don't think my life has been altered by this movie and the others in this genre, but I can for damn sure say I needed it.